Hello, welcome to my channel, Save Infinity. In this video, I just wanted to kind of talk about, the whole idea of healing and relationships and love and stuff with other people, especially in more sort of karmic-y type relationships, and just like a process or thought form or mindset or whatever you want to call it that, kind of helps me with ways of how to kind of contain and hold all those sort of differing energies within yourself while still also, healing and keeping your heart open. So often with this sort of human life process, life journey that we go on, especially with the way it kind of has been, currently set out and programmed with current sort of matrix parameters, if you will, we tend to have a lot of sort of karmic-y type relationships, as you would call it, with our friends or family, or, more intimate romantic relationships. And so, so often as part of, going on these sort of healing journeys or spiritual awakening type journeys, however you like to define it, it can be beneficial and helpful and healthy to, put up boundaries and such with certain people or energies while you kind of, do go into that cocoon phase of kind of, reforming and, transforming yourself and your energies and inner world before you kind of, break out of that cocoon as the brand new beautiful butterfly in a brand new world that, you've manifested for yourself. But obviously, such a process is always easier said than done, when you have love and attachment and such like that with these sort of people and energies. And, we're, often told and taught about, the art of non-attachment and not attaching to things. But sometimes, if you go a little too far with that mindset, it can almost make you feel a little like cold or shut off or a bit dissociative from that sort of loving bond that you do have and feel for and with other people. And so, just remembering that, any love that you have shared with people, or, any wonderful memories and things like that, none of that is it's not ever lost forever, because, every moment and every connection of love is permanently imprinted into, the source energy, infinite memory of source, imprinted into the ethers, into the quantum field, however you like to, look at it or define it. But it's kind of as we are going through these processes in these human lives, it's almost as we do that, we're imprinting such things into, our source code memory, if you will, that's, saved there forever. Kind of when you're playing a computer game or a PlayStation or Xbox, whatever sort of game you play, and as you go along and play, it just has automatic saving. Some games, that it just automatically saves as you go along. Kind of that side of idea, as we go through life, all these memories and experiences and love and all that gets automatically saved into the heaven saved files, as I like to call it. It's all imprinted into and onto the being of God, or the infinite source code of oneness. It's why we do have these memories and such, and why we can revisit such memories and feelings, because it is always all there, permanently saved. So you're not technically losing anything in that aspect. You kind of just, having a temporary space, or however you want to look at it, you're kind of just veering off down another path for a while, a different chapter to explore, a different level of the game, if you will. As so often as I've said as well, a lot of times these encounters and things, while we are on these journeys for certain karmic relationships, aren't exactly the be all end all of who they are or who you are or what your relationship together is. It's kind of you're both playing a role in that moment to work through certain energies and transmute certain energies that cannot always be so fun or great in the moment, and can be quite painful or hurtful or any of those sort of things. But that that doesn't define the eternal overall experience of your relationship, or who they are or who you are. And even though, you know, we play and, you know, have these sort of encounters in this physical type realm and experience, you know, it's not all that we are. We're all like, you know, infinite, eternal souls. And so, you know, whether someone, you know, has passed on in the physical world, or whether they're still, you know, alive and existing in your physical reality, regardless of either way, their spirit and, you know, soul, their like infinite eternal soul, is always like with you and always accessible in that aspect. Because, you know, everything does come from within, and the infinite, you know, realm of heaven and the kingdom within is within you. And it's kind of like how they say when people pass in the physical realm, they kind of return to their more, you know, higher being type state. And all those sort of lower, denser, you know, frequencies and energies or what have you kind of, you know, get left behind. And that more like, you know, real, wholesome, fulfilled, loving, you know, vibrant energy that you may, you know and remember of them from sometimes, or have felt or experienced as them as sometimes, you know, as their more like true and whole, healthy, complete self. Like, not only do they, you know, return to that after, you know, their physical vessel passes away or what have you, but that aspect and essence of them is, you know, an infinite energy within, like the source current within the quantum field that is within you always and forever, just as everything else is. And so, you know, even though certain scenes or what have you in your physical life and reality may not be playing out, you know, so great with them, or may require distance or what have you, it doesn't mean that that more, you know, loving and fulfilled and wholesome essence of them isn't still with you and accessible from that place within, if you know, feel called to draw towards. Yes, the people you love are always with you energetically, no matter how it's, you know, appearing in the physical scene. So, you know, that's why, you know, putting up those boundaries or things like that you need in the moment in the physical realm isn't, you know, cutting off and cancelling everything forever. You know, all that love is never lost. It's always, you know, saved and accessible and imprinted into, you know, the source code memory of infinite eternalness. And their, you know, their essence and true higher being is, you know, an infinite eternal energy that is within you as well, within that infinite realm of, you know, the kingdom within, and, you know, of that source energy within. And so, you know, even if certain scenes or what have you are manifested into your physical reality for, you know, both of your growth and soul growth, or, you know, whatever, what have you, however you like to look at it and define it, it doesn't mean you can't, you know, if you put up boundaries in those circumstances or what have you, it doesn't mean you still can't have like an energetic connection to their essence from within. It's kind of being able to like balance those two states and mindsets to be able to have a more, you know, healthy and balanced and fulfilled approach to living and existing in this physical realm without, you know, being harmed by more karmic-y type aspects, but also not really completely closing your heart off in a way that you become completely detached and cold and callous. Knowing that, you know, you ultimately have the control and the sovereign capability to decide how much you want to connect, whether physically or energetically, with any and all sort of energies. You know, that's all available to you, and is up to you how you want to navigate and approach and integrate, you know, such experiences and connections. All right, well, I might leave this one here for now. Sending you so much peace, love, light, and blessings as always. Bye.